morning. I am getting dressed for work. I've had a shower and now I'm going to do my hair. This is a traditional hair gel that was often used to keep the hair in place. What's fun about this particular product is your hair's wet and you put it in your hair and you style it, and then the next day when you go to do your hair, it creates more volume. And so it sticks really well. It's a really good product. So I'm gonna show you how I do mine when I use this product. I don't always use the product, but when I do, it works really well for me. So my hair is wet. I have probably about 3 tablespoons worth in here. I don't have a lot. And it's a very gelatinous-y consistency. So I take some and I put it in my hand like this, okay? And I just work it into the hair. And I have not combed or brushed my hair yet. I just took it out of the towel. Another little bit. And it is a gel, so you have to be careful that it doesn't like go everywhere. It's also very nourishing to the hair. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. It takes, if you do your hair wet, I actually have a little bit more in the bowl than I need. You probably only need about 2 tablespoons for really long hair. You're literally moisturizing the hair a little bit, and just a little bit at a time, because it does, like, it is still somewhat liquidy. Really don't need a lot. So now I'm gonna get my comb out. I love my bone comb. It's like a horn. I'm really trying to keep it off my cami. My hair off my cami, sorry. I mean, it won't hurt it any, it's just flaxseed, but now if you want, you can save your hair pieces, put them in a rat. I'm actually collecting my hair for a rat, but because your hair's wet and it's got flaxseed in it, I do recommend letting it set out, not put in your hair collection until it's dry. Now I'm gonna dry the ends because I have a little bit extra moisture in my hair. So I have fringe. I'll show you what I do with the fringe as we move forward. I have to find the edge because I don't want to put that up, because this is really good gel, and so if I put my bangs up, it's gonna stay, which is good if that's what you want. I use this gel when I'm doing some of my medieval hairstyles that I know that I want my hair up underneath the St. Brigida cap. Like I'm gonna go into a camping event. I'll sometimes, not all the time, but occasionally I'll pre-braid my hair with some flaxseed, because I know once I've got it up, it's gonna stay there with the flaxseed. You can see in the black comb that that's flaxseed. And I kind of do want it to come out of the bangs a little bit. Not a lot, because that'll be actually part of what the style is that I'm working on. So I use a clip with a piece of string on the end. It's not string, sorry, ribbon. Because it's works kind of like hair tape. So I don't have to use a rubber band at the bottom. Some days I'm better at getting these little bubbles out than others. I don't really worry about it. I know to some people that would drive them crazy. I just don't worry about that. So I get to the bottom. I've got just little bits of hair. I usually don't tie it all the way at the bottom, mostly because it just doesn't work very well. I pull the ribbon up through itself, like that. Pull it. So I'm tied at the end. So I start with my bone. Try to catch the top of the braid. It kind of depends on the angle. And the bottom of the braid, a little bit here. And then I've got that ribbon that I tucked, and sometimes it just stays in. Sometimes I get lucky and it stays exactly the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes I'm not. So now I have heavily flax-seeded bangs, and I'm gonna let those dry, and then I'm gonna come back here in about a half hour. I only used about half of what I had, so it doesn't hardly take any time at all. It dries really fast. It's mostly dry right now. And what I do is I first kind of tease it up a little bit. And I make sure that any dried clumpy bits are kind of loosened up. Those are still just a little damp. But if you see, I'm kind of flicking as I comb, and that gives it a little bit of body. Sometimes your hair falls out. Day 2, flaxseed hair. I kind of wanted to show you that my little ribbon stays really well. I pulled this out before I went to bed, and that's it, because I didn't put any bobby pins or anything. Braid stays really well. I did see in one of my other Facebook groups that there's somebody that's actually braiding their hair up using the Tudor Taylor hair taping thing, and she keeps her hair in it for a week at a time. And she said that she's using a silk cap at night, like a head cap, which I am very intrigued to try. So I will be buying one of those. So here's my bone comb. And my hair has a lot of volume from the flaxseed. Remember to save your hair out of your comb for your rat that you will eventually make, right? I know I'm making mine eventually. So I have a little spray bottle here of just plain water. I think I've had this bottle now like 5 or 6 years. Just a little Target spray bottle. And it's just got plain water in it. And that helps me kind of, see how this curls there? That's from me sleeping on it. So the other reason I use the water is it helps me kind of get the bangs out of the way while I get the rest of it up. And the water just seems to help reactivate that gel in your hair. And if you see any white flaky bits, that is not dandruff. That is just the flaxseed. But if you use a little bit of water, those little flakes really disappear, honestly. And just I'll use a little bit to reactivate it. So you don't have to use fresh flaxseed gel every day. The best success that I have had with this is that if I use a little bit of water at the root and just my fingers, when I braid it back up, I know if you've watched any of my videos, you can see when I have major flyaways. It's because I didn't use flaxseed gel. This really does help keep the flyaways down. And I have very fine hair. So my hair is very soft. It's very fine. It has body. When I was younger, it was iron straight. Wouldn't hold a curl to save my life. It wasn't until I hit puberty that it started to gain some structure. And it changed again when I got pregnant with my kids. It actually got curlier, so it got more body. And I'm right-handed, so I pull it over my right side, which makes it a little tricky if I don't have the camera facing that side. That ribbon gets a little flyaway sometimes, so I used to be able to wear my hair down about once a week, and now I find that with all the cleaning I have to do, it just gets in the way, and I don't want to cut it. The other thing that I've noticed is with masks, I have tie-up masks, and so if I tie it up above where my hair is, it doesn't slide down and slide off the back of my head, because so far, if I don't have my hair up, it just slides right off. I leave my bangs long and I just puff them, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Day 2 of flaxseed. It is the day 3 of the flaxseed hair, and I wanted to show you that it is late in the day. The only bits that I have flying away is this, but I got it caught in my telephone headpiece here at work. And I lost my phone this morning, because that's a joyous thing that happens occasionally, and I did not get anything posted this morning. I wanted to say that basically it's the same thing. I just wet it down just like I did yesterday, just like I showed you, and it's up and it's fine. Hey there guys, it is late on day 4 of flaxseed hair, and I have a few runaways today. Today's been kind of a runaway day. I was also out in the wind, so that could be part of it. But I wanted to show you that it does still work. I actually, when I activated it this morning, I had no flyaways at all. It is like almost, yeah, it's like 4:35 o'clock, so that's to be expected. Good morning. It is, I don't remember what day I'm on for flaxseed hair gel, but I wanted to show you that this is fresh first thing in the morning. I have sprayed it with water just to reactivate the flax, and that worked just fine. So I'm going to take the flaxseed out of the freezer that was left over from the last time, and I'll just let it thaw today, and I'll put it in my hair. But I wanted to show you that this is a very easy way to gel your hair without using a lot of product and being historically accurate. I have not added any flaxseed since the first application. This is what it looked like when I got up this morning, and I apologize for the background noise, but you can probably hear the washing machine going because it's on that other wall right there. So the plastic combs, when you use them at this tail end stage of flaxseed, they do have a tendency to carry a lot of static. At least they do for me, but I have also really fine hair. I mean, really fine hair. Don't forget to save all of your hair for your rats. So I have fringe, and that will get in the way of the styling sometimes. It kind of depends on the day. I think today I'm gonna use bobby pins. So I kind of take them and get them out of the way. Because I I kind of don't want them to get caught up in what I'm going to do next. Okay. Woohoo! And this is where I have fun because the flaxseed creates a lot of volume and a little stiffness. See how stiff that is? Now you can see that I've got a lot of flyaways, and I am going to tame those a little bit. Just a little smidge. I'm just using my trusty water spray bottle like I used earlier in the week, and I have all my bobby pins right here. And I take just a little bit and I twist it a little and create a little bit of a fluff, and I cross it. So the bobby pins, so it just catches it. And then I'm gonna take this side, tame it just a little bit. And I always have to remember to twist it the right way. And then I kind of cross it a little bit over those other bobby pins. Okay, then I have this big floof out back. And this is the fun part. I'm gonna flip my hair over and I'm gonna kind of gather it up like that. And I just kind of twist it into this high up bun. And it's not even a real bun, it's just like a knot of, and I'll often do this for weekend styles. I've also done it for work style. You know, it just kind of depends. And to reactivate the bangs, just kind of floof them a little bit that way. And I still, so this style is very reminiscent of Edwardian type styles, and they would use like a hair rat around here probably to fluff it up more. I don't have one, so I do the best I can to get it fluffed. Some days I'm better than others. Today it's a little flat, but if you wanted to tease it with the flaxseed, it'll hold really well, and you can tease it and make it puffier. I don't really like the teasing part because my hair is so fine. So that doesn't work for me, but this will stay all day and it won't fall and it'll be amazing. So that is the last day of our flaxseed. Tomorrow I will wash it and reapply flaxseed. Have a beautiful day. Here is a little bit of history about flaxseed, and I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit more history in here for you. I love this product because it's inexpensive. It's easy to make. The batch that you saw me make at the very beginning of this video, I can do my hair for 4 to 5 weeks in a row with one batch. So it's very inexpensive and it's very easy to apply. One of the earliest records we have of flax being used medicinally comes from Greece in the 1st century, and it was considered a preventative for sunburns and good for the skin. In the 17th century, Nicholas Culpeper suggested boiling the seed and applying it to soothe pain, colds, tremors, and swelling. Today, herbalists still hold fast to the medicinal value of flax, and they recommend it from everything from inflammation to good for the gut and bacteria, and a good source of fiber. It also has really high omega-3s. You can find flaxseed oil and flaxseed supplements everywhere right now. It's also used in food. Flax is actually where linen comes from. So the whole plant was used traditionally in history. You would use all of the parts of the plant. Painters and artists use flaxseed derivative called linseed. Linseed was also used as a derivative to create a lacquer that was used in some Eastern countries to lacquer the hair into place. If you would like to know more about flaxseed in historical use, there are a couple of references. One is the Encyclopedia of Hair, A Cultural History by Victoria Sherrow, Sherrow. She talks about flax. She also talks about a lot of historical hair products. It's a really good book. The other is a slightly more obscure resource, but I do recommend it. If you go on to sca.org, sca.org, and you go to the archive for the Compleat Anachronist. It's a booklet that's put out. It's very much like master's thesis papers that are put out in little booklet form. Issues 144 and 145, Barbara Segal, S-E-G-A-L, and she talks about flaxseed being used to optimize hair and the use of flaxseed in 14th century hairstyles. They're very good issues. I highly recommend them for anyone. I did want to point out 5 really cool things about flaxseed. Now, I mentioned that it's really high in omega-3 fatty acids. Those fatty acids can moisturize, strengthen, protect the hair. They improve the elasticity and prevent breakage. People who lack these necessary elements in the hair find that it eases that brittle, dry hair tendency, which I definitely have. It's also really good to nourish the scalp, prevent dandruff and scalp itchiness. The antioxidants repair damaged hair follicles. They prevent tissue corrosion and keep the follicles healthy. A protein deficient diet leads to weak, brittle hair. So flax is an excellent source of protein taken inside and externally. You can use flaxseed, define and moisturize curly and kinky hair. So I know that flaxseed is used in people who have culturally more curly, kinky, textured hair that gets very dry and brittle. They use flaxseed a lot in those cultures. Flaxseed can be used by anybody. It doesn't matter if you have oily hair or you have really dry and brittle hair. Flaxseed can be an overall use styling gel. So natural gel doesn't get flaky or dry out and create that dandruff. It's easy to use. The recipe you saw at the beginning of the video is a larger recipe, really. You could use just a teaspoon of flax and a half a cup of water and make a smaller batch. And I did want to remember to mention that because I make it knowing that I'm going to use a lot of it. You can use essential oil in your recipe. I do not use essential oils. I find that essential oils trigger my multiple chemical sensitivity too much. I really just don't like smelling like something that strong for a week at a time. But that's my preference. Thank you for joining me, learning about flaxseed hair gel. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit subscribe and like. Also, stay tuned for further videos and go back and look at my playlist. I have a variety of things in my playlist and I continue to bring you more content each week. Have a beautiful day and I look forward to seeing you next week. Good. Please hit subscribe and like. Helps. Oh my God. Cotton.